Hello and welcome back to my walkthrough to Final Fantasy XV, and if you're wondering why we're here on the title screen, this is because we're actually going to be talking about some of the special content that has recently become available to us once more. So with the advent of version 1.13, 1.14 and 1.15, which have come out pretty recently, it's come to my attention that the Moogle Chocobo Carnival is back. This was a free event that was originally only available over, I think, like early January to February, and I didn't get the chance to go through it at that point because I didn't take my PlayStation to uni, and so I didn't have access to the game. But essentially, the Moogle Chocobo Carnival, the point of it is, it's a unique sort of, it's a free experience that you can sort of have, and it's quite fun. It's sort of, obviously it's a lot to do with Moogles and Chocobos, but the reason that we're talking about it now is, one, because obviously we can now get access to it, but two, because one of the key items for that from the Moogle Chocobo Carnival actually is then further used in the next thing that's coming along, which is the Assassin's Festival. So the Assassin's Festival is out with version 1.15. You should be able to download it now on your respective PlayStation stores, and mine is currently downloading. We will do an episode based on the Assassin's Festival, or maybe two actually for the Assassin's Festival, when I get around to that. But for now, we're just going to do probably a single episode. This episode is going to be full of cuts to different parts of the Chocobo Festival, because ultimately I've had a bit of a pain trying to record this, and also I think it's actually nicer just to have it as one continuous episode as opposed to like multiple parts of a lot of sort of unsure things. So as you can see, with version 1.15 we actually have a new chapter select, which we'll also maybe potentially look at in one final episode after the Assassin's Festival, which we'll talk about essentially just the DLC, because there is a lot of DLC available for this game, and I feel like it would actually be useful to actually have just a little guide as to what sort of content you can get from your various parts of Final Fantasy XV. But first of all, the Moogle Chocobo Carnival. First of all, we go to Special, and then we go to the Moogle Chocobo Carnival. And the way this works is essentially you save over a main game slot, and then various items from the carnival will actually be copied over from your main game slot to your in-game save. So as you can see, I've actually tried this before, both on our actual save, which is this one, and on a previous save, like the first time I played the game. I've now created a new one. Hopefully this will the recording will actually work this time, and I can finally sort of put this stuff to bed. So the Moogle Chocobo Carnival is essentially this fantasy carnival in an area called Ortisha. We haven't actually hit Ortisha yet in our story playthrough, but we will eventually soon. I believe it's chapter 9 we see Ortisha. So this is slight spoilers for Ortisha, but nothing really true. Obviously the whole area is changed because of the carnival aspect to the area, so you don't need to worry too much about that. And essentially it's just an area that's full of mini-games, and has with the mini-games you play, you then earn a certain currency called Choco-Mog medallions. You can then exchange those medallions for items in the game, be it unique items purely for this carnival, or also just for plain items that are potentially rarer in-game than and you might not have necessarily found. And so, we will start here.
What the hell is this place? You again. Well, would that be? I say, let's do it.
Moogly grass. So, as you can see, so essentially this is a standalone section that is only to do with Noctis. This will just talk about the Choco-Mog medallions, which you can exchange for various things. So yeah, so Choco-Mog so yeah, this is to do with Noctis. We don't see the other bros around. We also have Carbuncle, who is this little summon actually that we see there. The point of Carbuncle is essentially we were introduced to Carbuncle, I think, in the Platinum demo, which was released way before the game came out, sort of as a preview to some of the like the weapon summoning and stuff like that. And the whole idea with Carbuncle is essentially, I think it's like, not entirely sure how the lore behind him. Maybe I should have looked that up. But essentially, if you play on easy mode during the main game, then whenever you're down at low health or whenever you die, I think Carbuncle will come and resurrect you. And similarly in the Platinum demo, we see Carbuncle essentially plays with young Noctis, and is seemingly only visible to Noctis himself, and also within the sort of dream world. So maybe this is like a dream for Noctis in some way. So anyway, we can check this desk. This desk shows us what we need, what you can get for your medallions. So the first one here is actually a bunch of items. These are all items that you use to upgrade your weapons from Sid. So if you've actually accidentally, say, sold some of these items, especially because some of them aren't like easy enemy drops, then there's a good chance that you can obviously buy one here for some easy medallions. There's also some pretty rare ingredients as well, or difficult to get ingredients because they require killing some relatively difficult enemies. From the middle one, we will see that there is the lodging voucher. This is the important, key item. Essentially, allows us to finish this story. Essentially, that allows us to finish the Moogle, the Choco Moogle Carnival, and will give us the key item, which then allows us to access the other stuff that will become apparent in the Assassin's Festival. Additionally, once we get the lodging voucher, there'll then be a more expensive item worth 99 Choco-Mog medallions, and that essentially allows you to watch the finishing cutscene of this area whenever you want. So that's that. And then on the last one, we actually have a load of auto parts, your various crystals for making paints, and then also a Choco-Mog sticker or a decal. So in order to get everything, you need 50 plus 30 plus 99, so 179. But additionally, you can actually keep items, so items that carry over. So if you want to have a memory of this festival, you can, for example, take an extra one, and then when it goes back into your any ones that you don't spend,
there you go. Yeah, boy.
You can then keep for your actual save and sort of just have as a little memory. So that's just a free thing you can do. So how do we earn these medallions? So the first thing is that there are a bunch of mini missions that we'll see if we go to the map. You can see there are side quests located here along with the question marks, and they give you options to earn medallions. There are Chocobo races, which we'll talk about. There is a fishing minigame as well, and then finally there are also lots of sort of smaller things that allow you to get Choco-Mog medallions. So, for example, one of them is that there are a few young children around who have lost their balloons, which you can then go collect with an easy warp strike. Doing so will give you a couple of Choco-Mog medallions. There are also some... So, we have the Chocobo races here, actually. So, we'll talk about that next. Essentially, there are two courses. It's Wiz. And we can't talk to him, unfortunately. But essentially, the two races here, they each have their own times. If you can beat the times by 30 seconds, then you get a specific trophy as well. for each of the tracks, and so what I'm now going to do is we're going to cut to recordings of me doing those 2 tracks and getting those trophies. So I'll see you when we get back.
Say, you look like... Alright, I got this. Ready? Go!
Okay, so with 30 seconds left, we get another Choco-Mog Medallion, 49,963. Is that fast enough?
Nice racing. That was an impressive time you posted.
Yes, it is. Awesome.
Reward for your fleet-footed feet.
Okay, so there we go. We get the Seaside Scamper trophy there. So it looks like, I would guess maybe that you need more than 30 seconds left. Yeah, you actually, yeah, so you need to finish it in under 50 seconds, and that's what we just did. So I will cut once more, and then I'll see you again once we get the trophy for getting the other race time as fast as possible.
Say, you look like you've been... Alright, I got this. Ready? Go! Hut!
Well, come on. Go on, go on! Yes, there we go. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Phew. Okay, so we break the 1 minute 20 barrier. Again, for both tracks, it's just beat it
Nice
with
racing.
less than 30 seconds left.
That was an impressive time you posted. Here's a reward for your fleet-footed feet.
So we get the Water Trotter
Come back and hit the
trophy.
track
Lovely.
again sometime.
Okay, so we are back, and having done the Chocobo races, you can see that you also get some medallions just for winning the Chocobo races. I can't remember exactly how many. Another, so small things, you can also do little dances with, I think, a Chocobo and a Moogle. Essentially, it's just a series of sort of very easy quick time events.
Like this?
Doing so will give you, I think, 3. And you get to see some kind of ridiculous stuff.
Can't believe I just did that.
Okay, so there's another thing. Another thing that another way you can gain some more Choco-Mog medallions is if you actually check this. What you'll see is that essentially you have a photo challenge, and essentially you use your ability to take random photos using the tactical menu holding R2. So essentially you get to go across to the camera, and then that allows you to then take pictures of various things. Doing so will then earn you a couple of medallions per go. Now, we're going to start a few little quests here, namely this one especially, because this one involves us going around the whole area.
Excuse me, sir. Have you seen any baby chocobos trotting around?
Can't say I have. Why?
Well, I brought my prize chicks to the carnival, but, you know, they flew the coop. So if you run into any of them, would you do me a favor and catch them for me?
Enjoy the festivities!
So, the little baby Chocochicks look like this.
Gotcha.
They are adorable, and you can collect quite a few of them. There are 15. Once you finish all 15, we'll hand them back in, but then if you talk to him again, he'll say that he's lost them again, and then what you'll find is that there'll be more chicks running around. For every one you pick up, you can then just hand that back in for some more medallions. What's rather amusing is that actually if you don't hand them back in to the guy, you can actually keep them in your inventory for the actual main save, so you can have a little Chocochick in your inventory, which I find rather adorable. So, if we head down here, we'll find another Chocochick. These can be, they're sort of scattered all over the place. You can find most of them just by looking. That's a particularly, well, quite a well-hidden one. I just know a few sort of around this opening area, and obviously we've already done this opening area, so I wanted to sort of do it again. So, come back here. There we go. Obviously you've also seen that certain medallions are just found sort of lying around. Such as this, as your any drop, any just random treasures on the floor will be Choco-Mog medallions. So, here we have the fishing minigame, and we'll have a little conversation about this. So if you hit the read sign here, what you'll see is that essentially certain fish, not all the fish, but certain fish have been tagged with the letters A through J. The letters A, collecting or reeling in a fish with a tag will then earn you a prize. So as you can see, if you reel in an A rank fish, you get the Howling Gust, which is a rod. B gives you a reel called the Albireo. C and D give you lures, and E to J give you just random things from certain fishing materials like your spider silk and your super baleen, that sort of stuff. Also, some give you medallions. So there's lots of reasons to keep fishing. Essentially, the A, B, C, and D are singular. There is one fish with each of them. The A requires you, and they can only be caught at certain locations. So there are 4 fishing locations around the map. You can see there's one here in Plaza. There's one over here at the Gondola Marina, which you need to take the gondola around to get to. And then there's also one here at the Fergola Canal. So what's important is essentially that you can only catch A and C, which is, I think, I can't remember the exact names of the fish, but essentially you can only catch the A rank fish and the C rank fish at the Gondola Marina, I believe. You can only catch the B rank fish here at Sanello Plaza, I'm pretty sure, and then you can only catch the D rank fish at Fergola Canal. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a montage essentially of me doing a lot of fishing at these various locations and hopefully give you some information or hopefully be able to see how you catch them. So I will see you when we get back.
What? You don't like my rod? Mine doesn't look too good.
Oh.
Hey, I got one.
So there we have it, the pigeon grouper here at, I can't remember exactly, Cerealio+Plaza?
Welcome to the carnival!
Don't know exactly which one is. Which one is this? This is Cerealio+Plaza. Cerealio+Plaza fishing spot. You can catch the pigeon grouper there. That is your B rank one, which gives you access to the new reel. Looks like a C rank fish, if I'm honest, I think. So it's definitely easier than the B rank one was. The B rank one was worryingly difficult given that there's an A rank. Pay more attention. No. Seems to have absolutely no jumping. Taken about half my line off. I've taken about half his stamina off. Relatively patient. Yes! Ooh, boy, that was tough.
Yeah, that grand prize is mine.
Ooh, boy, that is a big fish. A tide grouper, lovely. Which gives us a Poppeck Tinselred Chocobo. That is a rank C fish, I believe. Ah, okay, here we go. This could be it. Looks like it. This might just be another one of the those Lucian carps. I don't know, it's not too difficult. Come on. Lovely.
Ah, this one's a whopper.
That is a Coral or Laurel Sea Bass. That is D rank. There we go. We get Mog rank D, Rubygold, Moogle. Lovely. And now I get to head back to the other one and try and catch our A rank fish there. Okay, hopefully this one will be tagged this time. Now. Oh no, it is. It does look tagged. Yeah, you've got to be careful now because I've lost a fair amount of line actually. About 600 line. Maybe 500 in the process of getting to this far. So we should be fine, but it's just worth keeping an eye on it. Come on. Last bit. As the sun rises. And boom, there we go. Is that it?
I am Noctis, Prince of Lucis and King of Fishing!
Oh, I love that. That's great. There we go. So we get the Howling Gust, which is the rod that you get for achieving that rank A, which is great. So okay, so we are back, and having done the fishing mini game, or a little guide to that, what we can do is we can now point warp over here for our next Chocochick. Come on. Slippery. There we go, lovely. So Runaway, Chocochick, another one. Okay, so now what we're going to do is... what should we do? What should we do? Let me just check our map here. We do want to start this one as well, the Brothers Kupomazov. Essentially, it's another event which requires sort of going around to lots of areas on the map. And so it obviously makes sense to do it pretty... to essentially trigger it early, so then you can do it as we travel around. So we'll just quickly make our way over there. We can see another Chocochick.
Gotcha.
So just to show you what that was all about, so if we take a picture of this guy, who is one of the things that we had to take a picture of, and then if you just stay in the camera, you'll then pick up some Choco-Mog medallions. So you've got to make sure that you stay in the camera. Sometimes it won't trigger immediately, so just be aware of that. Okay, so I think what's next is we'll just quickly check down here. I don't think there's a Chocobo chick around this area.
What a race!
But you never know for sure. I don't remember. Oh, there's obviously 15 of them, so I don't remember them all for sure. So essentially, once you collect 50 medallions, you will then be notified by Carbuncle. Carbuncle will talk to you and just be like, you have so many medallions, what you're going to spend them on.
Where's the arena? I think you have to take the gondola.
You do have to take the gondola. Mysterious person. So, if we head over here to the Brothers Kupomazov, you'll notice that the map here in Altisha can be quite misleading. It doesn't really give you a sense of the verticality of the level at all. So just, if you're struggling to find your way, eventually you'll get there, but I mean, I still find it a bit of a maze. So we'll talk here and have a look at the Brothers Kupomazov, which is obviously a reference to the Brothers Karamazov, which is a Russian thing. So essentially, there are 6 tiny Moogle figurines located around the map, and you've got to find them all and take a picture of them all. So here's a gondola that will allow us to go to, you know, everywhere essentially. There's another Chocochick over here by the Fergola Canal fishing spot, which is just round here essentially. And now, what will we do? There's almost like so many different things to sort of think about in terms of what we could be doing. So probably work towards one of the various quests if that works for us. So we could head this way towards Maagho's, or we could head back to around the Laville, because I'm not sure I think there's a Chocobo chick around there that we didn't find. But then again, obviously we'll have more chances. So Maagho's is a restaurant located down below us. I don't think we can actually access it without using the gondola, so we'll certainly jump on a gondola at some point and do that. As it is, what we're doing is we're making our way up towards the Square Enix Café, which is located here located up here in Lestalem. So here's the Square Enix Café. The first thing that we can do here is we can get our first Moogle doll, which is him. So as you can see there, because I actually exited too fast out of that, it didn't trigger. Whereas if you just leave it for a bit, there you go. And you get 2 for each, and I think you get 6 for getting all 6. So you can get a fair number of medallions from this. Okay, so now we'll head into the Square Enix Cafe. There is another Chocochick for us to chase down, I'm sure. There you are. Lovely, got you. So then, the next thing we have here is we actually have 2 new recipes, which are really cool, that we can get from here.
And welcome. How may I help you?
If you talk to him, essentially what that does is that accelerates the time. I'm not sure by quite how much, but you'll see that it sort of will change to evening or nighttime and then go back to morning and stuff like that. So, especially with fishing, because especially the A rank fish, I think, are only available at sort of like, you want to be fishing at nighttime from between 10 to 2, so 10 PM to 2 AM. And essentially, if you want to come back and sort of keep talking to the guy, then that will give you, you know, that will allow you to fish much easily, or far more easily.
What would you like to eat?
So our 2 meals. So we have the golden Chocobo
I'll
Tart.
have that ready for you right away.
And this essentially reduces your Chocobo stamina meter goes down slower, which is really useful for like Chocobo races and stuff like that. You can see because I'm level 1, I have literally no experience.
A new recipe.
And there you go. So you do get a new recipe for each one that you get. And similarly, the second one is the Kupoberry Cheesecake, which is incredibly useful for fishing because it decreases the rate that your line, decreases damage to fishing line by 25% as well. So both of those are very useful recipes, and you should definitely get them. You got to remember that this DLC is free, and I haven't actually spoken about that. So essentially, you have access to the holiday.
I've come up with a new recipe.
The holiday pack. Essentially, the holiday pack will allow you to download. Downloading the holiday pack will give you access to a carnival passport, and having the carnival passport will essentially allow you to access this area. And that's all you need for it. It also comes with a snazzy top. The snazzy top, which is the Choco-Mog tee, which looks like this. So essentially, a T-shirt that is, you know, similarly designed around the Chocobo Moogle Carnival. But importantly, like I said, it is actually free. If you do have the Season Pass, you'll be able to download the Holiday Pack Plus. The Holiday Pack Plus is slightly different. In that, obviously, it's premium content, but at the same time, also gives you access to the Moogle Chocobo Carnival. I don't know which order it is, but there we go. Okay, so this is one of the one of the various quests. So essentially, what we have here is a series of questions. Depending on which one of the 3 initial Kupos you respond with, you get a different question, and then you can answer those questions for some medallions. Each question, the first one will give you 3, the second one will give you 5, and the last one will give you 10. And this is a trend that happens with virtually all of the mini-games inside the carnival, in that if you complete an easy thing, you'll get 3, then there'll be a medium difficulty one, which will give you 5, and the hardest difficulty will give you 10. So I'll show you which each of these questions are. The first answer for the top, so Kupo exclamation point gives you Lastalum as an answer. Kupo question mark gives you about 60 as an answer. And then Kupo ... will give us Minnow as an answer. And it looks like those questions do not change, which is much nicer than it has been in previous So as you can see, the question is the same each time. And we can ask Kupo ... So I'll respond with. Unfortunately, this is like some of the, well, like some carbuncle dialogue that we can't skip. And so the answer here is Minnow.
That's correct. You truly are a Moogle master, Kupo.
So there we go. You can get 18 medallions from that particular
Thanks so much for playing.
it's thing, and as you can see, the time is progressing through the day, and it's getting later. Here we can do the Chocobo dance.
What?
So it's very similar to the Moogle dance. It's just another way of earning some more medallions.
Huh? Like this?
As you can see, that one's far easier, so you only get 3. I'm not sure, there may be a final one, which is actually harder than those two. Although I haven't yet to find it, so maybe I'm just not looking hard enough. There is a second prize counter, which you can go to for some prizes.
Enjoy the festivities.
You'll also notice that as the time gets later through the day, fewer and fewer people will the crowds will certainly thin. And, you know, there won't be so many people clamoring for attention. So, here, that just means that Carbuncle's found us another one of the Moogle brothers. He is located up here. And that is number 4, I believe. It is number 4, lovely. Okay, so we can then head back down here.
What should we do next?
And so if we head across here, I think we find another Chocobo chick. Yep, another Chocobo chick. It's located over this way. Come on. Stop being difficult. Lovely. So, and then we can continue to make our way, essentially heading north through the city at the moment. What's interesting is that once we actually, once you've collected once you've visited all the various locations in the area, then Carbuncle will actually give you an option to be able to fast travel. So, our next Moogle is located just there. So you notice the cardboard cutouts where you can put your face through. If there was a person here staffing, you could then do that and get some more medallions. I think also around this area, Kenny Crow, you can find Kenny Crow during the daytime. So we might come back because he has his own unique interaction, I guess, with Noctis. Okay, so we'll continue to make our way around. So we're now in an area called Listro Park. There are 2 ways to access this area, as we see another young girl who's lost her balloon. There's a gondola up here, and then you can come the way that I just came in. And essentially, the minigame around here is some decorating. You have to follow certain instructions. And so that's what the 3 question marks are around here. Just the same minigame, but at 3 different difficulties.
Mysterious. You'd mind help?
So we'll just skip through some of the dialogue here.
Splendid. Well, good luck. And
So essentially, you get a a kind of cryptic little bit of instructions. And you just need to solve the little puzzle that essentially they give you. So this is the easiest one because there's only 3. The next one has 4 and the last one has 5. So the instructions here, it says less Kupo than Que, which means obviously more Chocobos than Moogles. And then it says, a star-seated Moogle would make my day. The middle blue packages are stars, and so you want the Moogle on the star, and hence you get the 2 Chocobos on either side. We can then talk to the attendant.
Look at that. It's beautiful, breathtaking, opulent, magnificent. You must be so proud of yourself.
And there we go, lovely. And you get 3 for that one. Again, you'll get 3, 5, and 10 for your varying puzzles. So the second one is down here by the steps.
Hey there, Dark and Miss.
And essentially the dialogue is exactly the same.
Splendid. Well, good.
So this one works in that, so if we go here, between the squares a between the squares a Moogle must go is that one. We also know that there are, for every Koopa there's a square, which means that there are 2, there's 2 Chocobos and 2 Moogles. It tells us that a Chocobo must sit on the star, and then it also says a Chocobo must sit to the left of the rows, which I am currently taking as essentially just means it's to the left of the red box, but I don't know if that's entirely what they want it to be. I don't know where else a rose is. So, but essentially you just have Chocobo, Chocobo, Moogle, Moogle. And then we'll go back here and talk to you.
Look at that. It's beautiful, breathtaking, opulent, magnificent. You must be so proud of yourself.
And there we go. So interrupted. So that essentially is telling us that we actually now have enough medallions to actually to pay for our VIP ticket. Now it's also important to remember that you only have space for 99 medallions at one time. So you should definitely spend them before you get to 99. Otherwise, you'll just be wasting medallions. Okay, so in this one, I think it says that left of the star rooster Chocobo, a Moogle sits on the circle's side. Left of the square does another reside. So I believe the order here is from left to right: Chocobo, Moogle, Moogle, Chocobo, Chocobo. So essentially, we know this because initially, left of the star rooster Chocobo, there are two stars, and we can be left of both of them. Moogle must be left of the circle, which is that one, and then it must also be. I'll check it next time. So left of the star rooster Chocobo, so that's this one because there's, oh no, that's both of them, sorry. A Moogle sits on the circle side, which must be the other one to that, and left of the square does another reside, and this is that, the one on the circle is the only one that can be a Moogle, because the other square does not have a position left of it. Okay, and that should now give us this one as a Chocobo. So obviously that also comes with, obviously the Chocobos make the Que, and the Moogles make the Kupo.
Look at that. It's beautiful, breathtaking, opulent, magnificent. You must be so proud of yourself.
So, Mog makes, what's Mog? Carbuncle makes the comment that we have a lot. Doing so, decorating Lestro Park would just bring more people here. It doesn't really do anything else, as far as I'm aware. Trying to remember if there's a Chocobo chick around here. You'll notice that you can actually, there is a Chocobo chick down here. It looks like you can actually do those decorations again if you wanted to. essentially every time you redo them,
So, where are you
I think
off
you
to
only
next?
get 1 medallion instead of 3 or 5 or 10. So there is sort of like a cost to, you know, repeating the same objectives over and over again. I think this is a dead end. It is a dead end. Well, it's not a dead end. It's cycles round to where we've already been. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll actually take our first gondola, and what we can do is we can use it to take us all the way to the
So, where
to the
are you
arena.
off to next?
So each gondola ride gives you the option essentially to either just watch it or skip. We will skip them. Maybe we'll watch them when we actually get to the Altissia itself. When we actually arrive there. So obviously the arena does have its own role to play in the actual. Does have its own mini game in Altissia itself. But as for the Chocobo Carnival, it takes on 2 different roles. Because we have 2 different mini games and we'll take them both on. So, first one, we want to buy the lodging voucher.
Well then, here you go. There you are. Have fun.
So you can see getting 50 is really not difficult. Getting the 179 that you need for everything unique here is not
Welcome
difficult.
to the prize counter. Looking
As
to
you can see,
trade
we
in your
can't yet do that.
medallions?
Okay, so now what we'll now do is we'll look at the 2 mini games located here in the arena. So the first one is here at Scamper. This is essentially Whack-a-Cactuar.
Put your finesse to the test. So how about
And you can either go easy, normal, or hard. I'll show you hard on both of these. They're not too simple. Essentially, they're a bunch of... You get given... So yeah, you get given a set of weapons. Essentially these big hammers, and they're not all, you know, so all I'm doing here is I'm just holding R1 to lock on, and then just attacking, holding the attack button at the moment. I'm using the big weapon here because I'm thinking that if the 2 Cactuars are close together, we can actually get double hits. As soon as the Gigantuar appears, you obviously want to aim for that. So thankfully we do have the have wait mode here. So you'll notice that it did say that essentially doing warp strikes gets you fewer points. We're going to get close here, I think, but maybe not actually make it. Depends if can we get some double hits. Yes, there we go. Lovely. Okay. So essentially, yeah, this one key I would say is just use your big weapon. You obviously have the choice of the 3 weapons you can use. Use the big one. Allows you to hit potentially both of them in one swipe. And as soon as the Gigantuar appears, target that down. As you can see, we get 10. Again, it's the 10, the 5, 3, 10 pattern that we've seen before. We can also find ourselves our third Moogle, or 4th Moogle, located up there. So that's the 5th Moogle done. So I think that is, yeah, that's 4th actually. So we've done 1, 2, 4, and 5. So we just have the youngest and the 3rd. The second one is essentially a shooting gallery. Hard is actually pretty difficult. I've never actually fully completed it, but I'll show you off essentially what it does. Essentially, it's just blasting down targets. Certain targets you need to hit more than one time, or several times, essentially. And naturally, this cannon has essentially a setting where essentially, if you hold down the trigger for too long, it will overheat. And the timer is generally not your not what you need to be worrying about here. You see that these gold targets take a few more. Aim for the Cactuars. The Cactuars are worth a lot of points for... So you can see it's starting to smoke. Generally, the larger the target, the more points it gives you. These small ones, those ones fade away faster. So you need to hit them quite fast, otherwise they'll disappear before you. Then we get pushed back. There are different arrangements each time, for each difficulty, I should say. So, gonna try and take down this behemoth. And now this behemoth. That Cactuar, and unfortunately we miss it. So we got close there. If we'd hit the Cactuar, we'd have got 1,500 more, which would have taken us to 24,800. Essentially, this last big target only gives you 10,000, and you almost certainly will have more than enough time to take it all down. So we'll get close, but no cigar, unfortunately. You get no bonus for finishing with a load of time left as well, which is a little frustrating. So yeah, I got close there. If we'd managed to take out that final Cactuar, if we'd taken a few, and then we'd have just needed two other normal ones along the way. The other levels are much easier than that, so don't worry too much if you just want to do normal and easy, or just give harder a try. So now return to the city, because that is everything in that arena. Essentially, it's just those two mini games. And we're doing pretty well now. Okay. Okay, onwards we must go, and that requires heading back. So I think we'll just take the gondola back, why not? Don't remember exactly where it drops us off.
So, where are you off to next?
So essentially, these two gondolas, so you see the map of the map of Altisha shows you the routes of the gondolas, the blue line, the purple line, and the orange line. So the orange line is essentially full of different routes that you can go to multiple places down below, and then the blue and the purple line specifically take you to Listro Plaza, I think it's called, and then from Listro Plaza to the arena. So we still have some Chocobo chicks, we still have some of the brothers, still some of the Moogles to find as well. And so hopefully we'll be able to find those with relative ease. It's difficult to say sometimes just because knowing where, like I've said, this place can be a bit of a maze, so sort of knowing where everything is. You see that our objective is now at the La Ville, the La Ville obviously being the main hotel in this area, and that's located around here. There should be another Chocochick around here as well. There is. Okay, so that takes us to 11. So we're missing 4. 4 of the little guys.
Where are you off to next?
Where haven't we been, really? Sort of this area. So if we just take it to Palcino Street.
Sit tight now.
We'll also want to go to Maagho's eventually, but we don't need to go there immediately. There's no real time limit for you to... You don't need to, like, rush to get the number of medallions that you need. You can just sort of go through with relative ease. Okay. Classic Noctis thing of not being able to pick up something and instead jumping all over the place. Okay, so if we head up and then through here, was this where we've been before and it just turned out to be where a Chocochick was? I think it is. It is. Okay. So instead we'll just have to head down then. We'd head down that route there. I feel like it would get tiring if it was like this every day. Ah, there's another Chocochick. Ah, there is our 5th Moogle brother. Oh no, that is... Oh yeah, the youngest Moogle. I was just going to say, it can't be like all complete yet. The final one is actually located on one of the gondolas that sort of goes round. We'll have to find a place to essentially almost stake out and wait for it to appear for us to grab it. Yeah, so there's another option for you to get some medallions by just talking to that lady, and then I'll show you. You can talk to her and...
How about a photo, sir?
We are so doing that.
Oh, sure. Like this?
Perfect. Now smile for the camera.
Come on. Oh, there we go.
For the scrapbook.
Not entirely sure what happened there. It seemed to be a bit slow.
I know, right? Parks never look so good.
So, where else haven't we been yet? Essentially, is what's important right now. We've only got a few more Chocochicks to get, which is rather useful, or just good news essentially. Might as well head through here just to see where this takes us. That takes us to you and the keeper of the Chocochicks that are in our need so much. Okay, so if we head up here, is this where we were? Yeah, it is actually, so we need to actually just be slightly lower. How do we get across to there? Maybe we need to be even lower then. Yeah, I know, don't worry. Don't think there's anything around here. So, again, Altusha being the maze that it is.
Just keep going straight.
That's down to... That question mark there is Maagho's. We will eventually get there, I'm sure. But it looks like in order to get across, maybe there's a warp point. There is a warp point. Lovely. This is where the Laville is. Check the map. Right, we actually sort of wanted to take that one instead, so let's just mark there. Sort of been running around for a bit, unfortunately, so apologise for that. Maybe we'll run into a chick along the way, make it worth it.
So, Moogles or Chocobos?
Well, that's an easy one. Chocobos, of course.
Friendship over.
We've already done that.
Wish it could be like this every day.
I know. Carbuncle, you don't need to worry.
Oh, Moogles are so
Okay, so it's across this one that I don't... Oh no, that's the one that we've already tried and failed. So maybe we can't go anywhere. But anyway, so we can talk to Kenny Crow here.
Yes, it's Kenny Crow.
And there is a Chocochick.
Thanks for the mouthful.
Where'd that Chocobo chick go? I'm sure I saw a Chocobo chick. There you are. Okay, that takes us to 14, so we're only missing one. Ah, no. Unfortunately, I know there aren't any down by Maagho's, so if we're missing one, we're just missing one at the moment. Wouldn't be surprised if it was sort of above where we've already been. I think we need to head down to the bottom area and actually search from there. We'll keep our eyes peeled for the little guy. Because we got the one inside the Square Enix Café. We'll go looking for the other Moogle brother as well. I think that's a good idea. If we head down here, I think this is a dead end. It is a dead end, but for a Choco-Mog medallion. We can head down to the bottom floor. And then I think... Essentially, it's on one of these bridges, so Maagho's is located under there. Quite a picturesque location. So yeah, we'll just continue to sort of be on some various bridges. He may well be on, say, maybe this boat coming up. Yeah, so you can see him just perched above the Chocobo there. So that didn't count. There we go, lovely, sweet. So that's all of those, which means that we can actually return to the attendant. So if we just check our map, the attendant, whoops, no, quests, yep. Which is that one, which is literally just behind us, so we should be, yeah, just here. Sweet.
Congratulations, you snapped them all. A great cameraman like you deserves a fitting reward.
Sweet. Okay, so now what I think we'll do is we'll head over to Maagho's and then hopefully try and find that final chick wherever the little guy may be. So where is our nearest gondola? Over here, I think. Yep, and now we can take our gondola.
Where are you off to next?
And the gondola will take us to Maagho.
Still haven't swung by Maagho.
Hope you have fun out there.
Okay, so we can now... so this is Carbuncle essentially telling us that we can now talk to Carbuncle, and that will allow us to fast travel, which is really useful. And we'll also talk to you.
Aren't you one of Westcomb's buddies?
That depends. Does he need me for something?
He doesn't need anything. He's not even here. I, on the other hand, could use some help with these orders. I'll even reward you for a job well done. What do you say? Do it for Old Wes? Give it some thought. I'll be here.
So obviously they talk about Wescombe, who's a character that we'll meet in Chapter 9 when we actually arrive in Altissia, but what this allows us to do is take on another side quest.
Gonna try your hand at wait.
Which essentially it requires us to wait tables. If you do not much, that gives you 3, a little will give you 5, and a lot will give you 10. So much like all the other side quests around this area. So the way it works is essentially you must take...
Waiter!
Excuse me,
So
sir.
she's 2 bottom,
Waiter.
Yeah?
1 left, 1 right,
Yeah? All
1
yours.
up, 1 right.
Order up!
So really you only need to memorize 2. If you memorize 2, then obviously
It smells heavenly.
the other 2 should just, you know, fall into place.
Come to mama.
Bon appetit.
Looks delish.
Because the other one should just be, you know, your alternative. So
Waiter.
Waiter!
Excuse me, sir.
2 left, 1 right.
Yeah?
1 of all but bottom.
Yeah?
4 top.
All yours.
Okay, so 4 top and 1 of all but bottom are the easy ones. This one isn't, like, even a lot is not particularly difficult at all.
Bon appetit.
Looks delish.
Bon appetit.
Come to mama.
Bon appetit.
It smells.
There we go. I mean, we've already hit the, you know, the score that we need.
Excuse me, sir.
Waiter!
1 down,
Waiter.
Let's get some
1
grub
left,
Yeah?
1 right,
Yeah?
and 1 down
All
again.
yours.
going. Order up!
So even if you mess 1 up, you should be able to recover, because I think you'll,
Bon
like,
appetit.
All right, grab
you're probably
time.
only going to miss 2.
It smells heavenly.
Bon appetit.
Come to mama.
This has actually been a relatively easy
Delish.
a set of instructions, thankfully.
Let's get some grub going.
1
Waiter!
down. I mean,
Excuse
there's
me,
really no
sir.
chance that we'll actually manage this.
Waiter.
Yeah? Yeah? All yours.
And there you go. So the time's up.
Order up!
But we've already got the 2,000 points that we needed. Nice and simple.
Way to go, Maitre D' in the making. You did your share and then some. Keep it up, and Old Wes will take you on full time.
And there we go. We get another 10 Choco-Mog medallions. So now I think all we got to do is try and find that last
So,
little
where
guy.
are you off to next?
So I think what we'll do is we can use Carbuncle. I have a feeling it might be in Listro Park, so we'll just check back at Listro Park. Try and find this last Chocobo chick, and then once we've done that, that's everything. I've shown you virtually everything you've obviously got. And then essentially you can just spend your time here and try and get as many... There you are! There is the Chocobo chick. You was down this area. We haven't searched this area particularly well.
Alright.
Okay, cool. So, we now just... definitely not arena. Let's go to the Fountain. I'm hoping that this is where I think it is. I'm hoping it's the Fountain. It may well not be. But essentially, yeah, so... You can essentially redo all of the mini-games as many times, and you'll get, obviously, fewer and fewer...
That's the last one! Oh, thank the stars! I'll never let you out of my sight.
Yeah, you better not.
Oh, thanks for the help.
So yeah, there we go, we get another 10. And again, like I said, so if you actually talk to him again
Man,
after a while, maybe the next day or so, you then say that he's missing them again, and you've got to help him out again. But yeah, that allows you to keep, if you want to have one in your inventory, just for you know, for memory's sake. So that is pretty much everything. That shows you all the various ways you can earn medallions. Again, the whole point of this is just you can spend as much time or as little time as you want to. You really want to do this because once we complete this mission, i.e. once we head to the Laville and watch the final cutscene, we'll then get an item called a Dream Egg. That Dream Egg then allows us to, will give us access to some more content associated with the Assassin's Festival, which will be coming up very soon on this channel. I mean, that is essentially available now. So it's well worth getting the 50 medallions, and really it's not hard to earn medallions in this. It's really not hard, and so you know, have fun. Just have fun and do as much as you want to.
Thank you for your patronage. We hope you enjoy the view. And we're in.
So now we can wait until the Choco-Mog Orama. And essentially what we're going to get now is an extended fireworks show. This is a long cutscene. And essentially what you can do is you can just sort of take photos to your, you know, to your pleasure.
That's amazing.
I don't know if taking more photos speeds it up or not, but essentially the last time I saw it, sort of like it seemed to be repeating.
Sure is beautiful.
You can see that obviously Moogles and Chocobos appear in the fireworks.
Wow.
So I'm just testing this out just to see if actually spamming, you know, photos will actually make this end sooner.
Sure is beautiful.
Because last time it did seem to go on for an extremely long time, but that may well just, you know, be the nature of the beast.
All right.
So yeah, so there you have it. This is the finale. It's just this very long extended cutscene of the of these fireworks. See, this is why I think it sort of repeats, because you see those and then you see those again from that side. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure if it does repeat, but it feels like it does.
Alright.
Which I guess isn't really a good sign. But eventually, after a few sort of rotations, I guess, once you sort of get through it all, you then...
That's amazing.
You'll then get the option to sort of stop or continue watching, and then once you can stop, you'll then... Essentially, you'll find out that the carnival is still going on. You can continue. So this doesn't actually finish off everything, obviously. You can continue. You can return to the carnival and do lots and lots of, you know, continue with your mini games to your heart's delight until, you know, you've pretty much done.
Alright.
So that should be as many... So it looks like taking more photos does not speed it up, I should say.
Sure is beautiful.
So our time here should eventually come to an end. That does actually look like more of a finale, maybe.
Alright.
There we go. So yes, we certainly have.
Talk about a finale. Yeah, I did too, buddy. Yeah, lucky you. Yep. Oh. Hey! Whoa, easy there! Hey! Come on, buddy. Where's the hair? Wow, a day to remember.
So there we have it, the end of the that finale there. We complete Interrupted by Fireworks. We gained the Dream Egg, which is that key item that I was talking about. And now I think all we have to do now is to buy our last two items. So what we'll do is we'll just very quickly head back over to the reward desk, and I'll show you that there is a VIP pass, and then we'll cut away to me purchasing the VIP pass after we've won enough credits. So as you can see, you can buy a Choco-Mog Medallion. You can see, I mean, even like I haven't really tried like all of the various difficulties and stuff like that, and I haven't done any fishing in this run, or I haven't done any Chocobo racing in this run, and I've still got, I had 70 spare medallions after getting the 50, so there's a lot of things. That's the one, the VIP pass there, 99. It allows you to see the fireworks show whenever you want, essentially, and we're going to cut away for me buying that, and then I think we'll be saying goodbye. So there we go. So if we go to the middle one, we can now get the VIP pass.
Well then, here you go.
Okay, so that means we've got pretty much everything. That is it. I hope you have enjoyed this little walkthrough to the Chocobo Moogle Carnival. As you can see, it's a pretty long episode, but there's a lot of things to go through. I think it was made more sense for me to sort of do this all in one big episode as opposed to trying to split it up. We'll see what happens at the Assassin's Festival. It has a bit more of a storyline element from what I've seen, so we may well have one episode where we just sort of follow the story, like the main plot as it were, and then we'll have another one which sort of just wraps up everything with regards to the mini games and stuff like that. But I hope you have enjoyed this episode, and I hope you will join me on the next.